good Tuesday morning, 3 minutes past 10 o'clock. We're showing 48 degrees up at the Payson Airport right now. Good Tuesday morning, and welcome to another edition of KRIM's Community Spotlight, where this morning we're talking about people down at the end of the pipe down there, the Green Valley Water folks. With us in the studio, their District Manager Garrett Goldman, and also Administrative Services Manager Deniese Morgan. And first of all, thanks to both of you for being with us this morning. We appreciate it.
Good morning.
Thank you for
Now,
having us.
you betcha. Now, there's something that we have to talk about this morning, and that is that for folks that have been paying their, what used to be the sanitary district bill, you've got a new payment portal that's finally up and running, and it was no small hurdle to get this all set up, but it's now up and running, right, Denise?
It is. It's now up and running, and we would just like to thank all of our customers for being patient with us. It was a little bit longer than we expected to get going. We actually were anticipating it being up in October, and technology, when it gets deployed, sometimes it's not the easiest to handle. So we've managed to get through, all of the hurdles, and we are now live and up and running, and it's been great.
And for you, I bet that was a bit on the frustrating side.
It was.
Just getting it ready.
It was, because a lot of it was out of our control. Our billing partners, our payment process, business partners, they had issues on their end too. A lot of people working from home, not enough resources to get done what needed to be done within the time frame that they allowed. But we're here, we're up and running now.
Well, that's great.
It's been good.
And just look at it as a chance to expand your vocabulary. I'm sure it's frustrating. But it's also a good time to point out that, for customers out there, have a little extra patience, because this has been no small undertaking. How long did it take to get that whole system transferred over and established?
So our old payment portal went down in mid-September, and we had anticipated the new one coming up second week of October. It finally went live last week.
Wow.
Last week or the week
last
before?
week, I believe.
Yeah. So with that, our customers can now go online. They can create an online user presence. They can sign up for auto pay through Visa, MasterCard, e-check, checking account. We also have a feature implemented called IVR, which is integrated voice recording. So they can call the office. They can be prompted if they would like to make a payment online. Press 1, and it routes the customers directly to the IVR payment portal. They can key in their account information, make a payment that way.
So they don't have to make a lot of conversations or anything like that to get to where they want to go. They can find it quick and easy.
Yeah, correct. And we also have it though too, that if they would like to speak to the front office, they press number 2. Our front office is very qualified to help them to navigate through. We've had some calls where there's been some hiccups where an account can't get set up. Our staff is always willing to help them walk through that and get that done.
And Garrett, we've talked a couple of times here about all of the technology involved in the wastewater treatment plant itself, but this is a whole other chapter in that book of, there's technology that's constantly a challenge for you folks, but you seem to always rise to the occasion, with bells and whistles.
Well, everything we do, it's moving more technology based.
Right.
And this whole payment portal is just one more way that we can better serve our customers.
I think more and more people are kind of getting used to those kinds of things, so we all have to step up and make it happen, right?
Our customers expect it.
Yeah.
And we found that out when we took the old payment portal down. They definitely expect us.
So roughly speaking, how many customers does Green Valley Water have?
About 9,000.
Wow, is that all?
Yeah.
9,000.
Only 9,000.
Yeah, and because those are 9,000 homes that have multiple people in them, so wow, that's quite a flow. The and any big changes this time of year with winter versus summer for you folks?
Not from our base flow. It stays about the same. The demographics of Payson are really unique. Is the best way to put that. We will see with the storms coming up, we'll see increased flow coming into the plant from stormwater,
right.
But the base flow is right around 1 million gallons a day.
Wow. And Denise, as far as this new payment portal, that's only one of the things that people can look forward to when they go to greenvalleywater.org. There's all kinds of information there.
There's all kinds of great information there. Everything from our history to about us, talks about all of our staff, what we do.
Explains the process,
Yeah, the process.
Our treatment
Yeah.
process is on there, what not to flush.
Right.
There's a big section on that. Encourage everybody to please at least look at that because there's a lot of things that can go down the drain that shouldn't go down the drain.
Bowling balls.
Yeah, picks, toys.
Toys is the biggest
I can't
one.
imagine. I mean, I bet you there's some funny stories that we probably shouldn't share here on the air, but with things that have ended up down there. It seems to me, Garrett, I remember you saying something about somebody's wedding ring once getting retrieved.
We did find a wedding ring. A lady called frantic because she'd accidentally flushed her wedding ring. And we had the timing down. We knew about when it should be at the plant, and we found it.
And, you know, we were talking before going on the air today again, I'm always astounded by the millions of gallons that go through that plant every day. I mean, for you to find that, again, for the untrained bozo out there like me, I mean, that seems like a needle in a haystack.
Well, yes and no. We know about how long, depending on where it is in the system, it should take to get to the plant, and from that point, you just have to start digging, literally. But we were able to uncover it and return the ring to her.
You know, there's a lot of jobs in the world that I don't think I'm qualified for, but digging there is probably one that isn't right up on the top of my list of
Takes a special person.
Yes, that's very special, yes. Now, Denise, when it comes to these, getting back on track, when it comes to the website and everything, I mean, this has been a work in progress.
It has been a work in progress. It's taken a lot longer than we expected, but we're there now. With that payment portal, they have the ability, the customers have the ability to go in and look at the history of their account too. They can look at historic bills, and I believe those are being loaded right now.
So I can look back at like
Absolutely.
last May or whatever,
Yep,
and
yep.
yeah, check to
Absolutely,
make sure
you
I
can
made
go
my
back
payment.
and, you know, if there's issues, well, I thought I paid that, but I'm not sure. You can actually go back and look at your account history, and you can see where the payments were applied.
And the nice part is that if the internet isn't something that you're comfortable with, you can still call and talk to a real live person who can walk you through everything as well.
Yeah, they can walk you through that. We're steering away of actually taking payments via over the phone,
Right.
but customers are welcome to come into the office.
Right.
We can run payments that way, cash, check. We also have our Dropbox still at Town Hall.
Oh, cool.
And we have installed a new Dropbox right there on the bridge as well. So it's a Dropbox, lockbox.
Cool.
If people,
Yeah, right outside
Yep.
of our gates. So
Gotcha.
if you pull up and gates are closed, there's a Dropbox there for you.
Wow, okay, so that's the bridge that goes over the American Gulch right there.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, cool, all right.
Yeah.
Well, now, and the one at Town Hall is in with the other mailboxes in that little drive-through area, there,
correct,
right? Yeah,
correct.
cool,
Has our Green Valley Water logo on there.
gotta love it. And for those that aren't familiar, Garrett, the Green Valley Water, the sanitary district, previous name, has been around for how many years now?
Well, we were established in 1965.
1965. And this has really been kind of a cutting edge technology thing right from the get-go.
Yes, the first plant actually went in operation in the early 70s. And then we went through a major upgrade project in the early 80s. 1983, we actually were the first or the second in the country to employ what is the Barton-Faux process. And that is a biological nutrient removal process that takes care of not only the carbon disposal, but it removes nitrogen and phosphorus.
You know, you treated Chris Higgins and myself to a tour of the plant here a couple of months back, and man, the technology there really blows my mind. I mean, and especially when you think about such a small community as Payson, to have that level of technology is pretty astounding. But and it's not just you know, from my untrained eye, but there's communities all over the state and even in other states that and I think if I remember correctly, you mentioned from other countries that have taken a look at what you've done there.
Yeah, a lot of our equipment that we have is cutting edge, and we do several tours a year of other facilities that are looking to employ that type of equipment in their process, and they come and talk to us, see the installation, kind of talk to our operators how it works, whether it's takes a lot of effort to make it work, and you know, so we do see quite a bit of recognition that way.
Wow, so people coming to you for, and I hate to use the term, but to really get a grip on the bottom line.
Pretty much, yes.
Good. Now, it's Tuesday, I'm sorry, I'm goofy this time of the morning. The web portal itself, now, was that, how much of that was done in-house? I mean, there's gotta be an awful lot of data input on something like that.
There is a lot of data input. Our current billing partner handled that on the database end,
Right.
converting a lot of information over. So our previous customers who were on our old payment system, our old payment portal, they have to re-register with the new payment portal.
Right.
That information doesn't come over because we do not store credit card information, banking information. All that is stored and it's all PCI compliant, so it's all protected data within the payment portal database. So it's not stored by us. Everyone will need to re-register, put in their preferred payment method.
That just makes sense, I mean,
Yeah.
especially as far as dealing with people's sensitive personal
Yeah.
financial information and
Yeah.
stuff like that, it just makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
But you've been working on this since September. Is the website itself, did that transition in September as well, or is that been a longer
No,
process?
The website's been up and going
Since mid-March.
mid-March.
Yes. When we rebranded in March to Green Valley Water, we went through an effort to update the website also. That our old website was pretty antiquated, difficult to use. We really wanted to get a better customer experience out there.
And more customers are expecting that, I'm sure.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Interesting. Well, and so you had to shop around and find someone that could do that for you. I'm sure that there's not much of a repository of that kind of talent here in Payson.
Yeah, there's a little bit. We have a partner. They're actually out of the Phoenix area that we use for that.
Right.
And they've been involved all the way through with the payment portal, getting that integrated back into the website, making sure that the announcements, letting people know the status of where we're at is on the website, so people can get information. I mean, that would be your first place to go, is the website.
And to remind people that aren't familiar with it, once the sewage is treated at the plant there and the effluent that comes out, the reusable effluent, it's pretty darn pure. And that goes into Green Valley Lake,
Green Valley License.
and then also was it the high school?
Well, from Green Valley Lake, then we draft out of Green Valley Lake to feed our reuse customers, Payson Golf Course, Woodland Meadows Lake, the high school,
Right.
which is all of the ball fields there, and then ultimately out to Chaparral Pines and the Rim for those golf courses.
Outstanding. And again, how many gallons go through there a day roughly on the average?
1 million gallons a day.
Just 1 million gallons a day. Wow, that's phenomenal. So, of that, if it wasn't for the plant operating like it does, then that would be just water leaving Payson.
It would just leave Payson, go down the Verde River, and feed the valley.
Right, and that, no wonder Payson's water situation is looking so much better between that and Blue Ridge Reservoir or C.C. Cragen Reservoir. That we're sitting a little bit prettier than I think we thought we would a few years ago.
Yeah, that we are. We're in a good place.
Yeah. How many people work for the Green Valley Water?
We have 24 people on staff.
That's all it takes. Wow. And but you got people that have to be responsive 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
We are 24/7 operation.
Right.
So if there's a problem after hours, call the non-emergency phone number at the police department.
474-5177.
Okay, I'm glad you know that. And they will route to our on-call personnel, and we will respond within 30 minutes.
Wow, that's outstanding. Now, speaking of that, we were talking in the news this morning about the fact that the county is closing down different offices and stuff for the Christmas weekend and for New Year's weekend. How is Green Valley Water doing?
Well, we are going to be closed at 11 o'clock on Thursday, all day on Friday, and we'll be back open for business on Monday morning.
Of course, that doesn't mean that the plant itself is shut down. All of that stuff keeps on going all the time.
Yeah, it keeps on going. The pipe always flows.
Your microbial mass stays busy.
Yes, they do.
All that flocculation and everything.
No vacation for them.
Right. Now, when it comes to, I'm taken aback by 24 people you said would work there?
24 people.
That's, as big as the plant is and as much demand as there is on it, I find it amazing that 24 people can manage that. That's really astounding.
Yeah, well, our staff is top notch.
Yeah.
And, when you think about it, we have almost 200 miles of collection lines outside of the treatment plant. There's 14 lift stations, 3 booster stations, and then the plant itself, and 24 people can manage
So
that.
aside from the booster and lift stations, just in Payson, 200 miles of sewer pipe.
Pretty close to it, yes.
That's that's a bizarre thing to try and wrap your brain around too if you're not familiar with it. And that's there's a lot going into that. So now your crews then also have to be out managing or maintaining these lift stations and all of this other stuff too on a routine basis.
Yes, on basically a daily basis, we're out there. We have, just roughing it here, about 10 people are dedicated outside of the gates. And then the rest of them are inside the gates, either in operations or administration. But
So,
go ahead.
Denise, do you ever have to grab a shovel and get out there and dig after anything?
No.
We try to get her outside.
No, I'm not going to go there anyway. The bottom line is, it sounds like things are going really well at Green Valley Water, and now with the new payment portal and website, you can probably get all of your questions answered that you may have, whether it's about your specific account or Green Valley Water in general and the people that work there.
Yeah, absolutely. The website contains an extreme amount of information, how to register. It's fairly easy. There's samples on there how to register. And again, if our customers run into any issues or they want some help navigating through, please call us. Any one of our office staff up front will be able to walk them through getting that set up.
Cool. Now, we mentioned that, as people coming from all over the place to take a look at the technology involved at the plant here out west of Green Valley Lake. Are there any other operations like this in the state of Arizona?
Well, yes, the most municipalities will have something that's similar to us. Every wastewater treatment plant is different though. So they employ the same basics, but how they employ it is unique to that specific plant. So we're always looking for ways to get better at what we do.
Right.
And you can't just live in this little island. You have to be reaching out.
And you did some major modifications or additions to the plant here just within the last couple of years, right?
2015.
It's a couple of years, isn't it?
In
Seems like
wastewater
it.
treatment plant timeline, yes. So we had a pretty major expansion, and it finished in 2015, which increased our capacity.
Right.
And so whatever development comes our way right now, we are equipped to be able to handle those flows.
And is it still possible for people to come out and tour the plant?
Yes, we do standard tours the first Wednesday of every month, and but if that doesn't work for you, call our office staff and we will set up a tour.
And as strange as some people might think it sounds, it's really an astounding place to visit and try and wrap your head around how that's all done, because there's an awful lot of technology and science going on out there just west of Green Valley Lake that you owe it to yourself for something unusual to do to stop out and take a tour. How long does a tour typically take?
Typically hour to hour and a half, maybe 2 hours, depending on the amount of questions and how deep you want us to go.
Right. And so many one-liners. The bottom line is, there's that term again. It really is a fascinating place. The other thing that I mentioned off the air this morning, but I really feel it wholeheartedly, and that is that when you walk in there, I mean, you have quite an environment there of people that seem to really enjoy what they're doing, and it's hard to find a business where there's more people that just seem to be genuinely enjoying what they're doing. Is that because of you, Denise?
That's the environment that we're
It's
there.
all Deniese.
It's all Denise.
No, if you have happy employees, then it just makes
Right.
it makes everything better. So
Yeah, and the opposite is also true.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
well, you're doing something right then, anyway. And gosh, with only 24 people, I'm still amazed by that. What's the most common question on people that do call in and need to talk to someone? What's the most common question you get?
Oh, it ranges. We get questions from billing to, and we get the one-liners too.
I bet.
We get the one-liners in the mail, and one of the gals in the office, we call it her door of, I don't want to say shame, but we tape up all the fun comments that we get.
Right.
People will write one-liners on their bills,
Right.
and we keep them on there. So when we need a good laugh, we look at that and say, wow.
Well, that's cool. You know, life is too short to
Yeah.
not
Yeah.
look at things that
Yeah.
way. It just makes sense. Well, the plant itself, state of the art, and really the epitome of what a small town should be doing, I think, and the way it's managed seems to be going very well too. What was the whole dynamic or the whole reasoning, Garrett, behind the rebranding?
Well, the rebranding actually started out as a logo project.
Huh.
And as we were working through the logo project, well, first of all, say Northern Gila County Sanitary District 5 times.
No.
You can't do that not very well. But there were a couple problems that we identified in that process. And the first one is Gila County. We are not associated with Gila County.
Right.
We are our own special taxing district. That is separate from the county, so we would field multiple phone calls a week.
Kind of a misnomer there.
Yeah, thinking that we were part of the county. The second one is sanitary, and in a lot of places, not necessarily Payson, but people moving in from other areas, sanitary means trash pickup,
Oh, there you go.
sanitation, right? And so we were fielding a lot of phone calls of people wanting their either set up trash service or wondering why we missed their trash can this week.
Calling you for a new can.
And
Here goes the one-liners again. All right.
And it just, it kind of evolved into, we needed to get our own identity.
Right.
We needed something that was just us. We wanted something that had a historical and also a geographical reference to the area. And that's where Green Valley came out of.
Well, and it makes perfect sense. I think it's a great idea, but especially with so much of the affluent, the first place it goes to begin with is Green Valley Park.
Mhm.
And all the lakes out there. I remember when that Green Valley Park first came to fruition, wondering, gosh, you know, from the sanitary district here, what's this going to be like? Is there different times of the year where it's worse or better? But man, that's really, I mean, it's still the just the crown jewel of Payson over there.
There it is, and without the water from us, it wouldn't be what it is today.
Right. Now,
So-
and so are there different times of the year where you have to change your approach a little bit to keep everything as it should be?
No, we are regulated by permits from ADEQ.
Right.
And as long as we can meet those permits, that water is good to go to Green Valley Lake. And we strive all year long to meet those permits. That's what the 24 people do.
So there's no real seasonal fluctuation as far as variables that change the way you
Well,
handle things?
They change, temperature is the biggest one.
That makes sense.
As it gets colder, you have to run the plant differently than you would in the middle of the summer. But, you know, that we have that process down, we know what changes need to be made. And we just adjust it as the seasons change.
And as far as those 24 people, I think on your new website at greenvalleywater.org, you even have bios on some of the employees on there, don't you?
We have pictures of each person that is employed there,
Yeah.
yes.
Cool.
And what their title is or their position.
Makes sense. The and again, that's all at greenvalleywater.org, so you can check that out anytime. But to set up the payment portal now, if you haven't done so yet with the new payment portal, how long of a process does that take, Denise?
It takes less than 5 minutes
Oh, wow.
to do. Yeah.
Just pretty simple,
Yeah,
straightforward.
pretty simple, straightforward. You set up a username, an email. You'll need your account number, and what'll happen is you'll get a validation email back to confirm who you are. And we've been finding that most of those validations are going to everyone's junk mail. So if you register your account, you don't get an email, please check your junk or your spam.
Oh, that makes perfect
Yeah,
sense, yeah.
click on that validation, and it confirms your account, and you can log in and view all your information, your activity.
Now, can you actually view past information even though this is a new portal?
You can. We are actually in the process right now of loading historic bills.
Right.
And we're gonna load, I believe, 36 months of information, so, yeah,
Should have a good backlog there.
absolutely.
Outstanding. If someone's got a question and they need to speak to somebody about it, the phone number to call is
474-5257, option 2.
5257, option 2. All
Yep.
right. Well, once again, Denise and Garrett, thanks for coming down and being with us. Keep up the good work, and we'll keep all the rest of our bottom line jokes to ourselves.
Thanks
Thank
for having
you.
us.
You betcha. Thank you for coming in. We're gonna get you back to more of your favorite music. Have some tunes coming up from Neil Young, U2, Linda St. John's, Boz Skaggs, and a whole bunch more. But first, a quick look at Rim Country weather.
The KRIM weather forecast for Vincent.
There we go.
Thank you, Randy.
Just like that.